good? All right. What's up, everybody? Huh? Are we good?
We are live.
Are we good on your phone?
Yes, we
All
are.
right. So what's up, everybody? What?
Hold on.
Of course, it wouldn't be Up and Smoke podcast without problems.
Exactly.
We are live, though. We're good.
We're good. Yeah, we're good. Dan said we're coming through on the thing.
Probably.
All right. So now that that's out the way,
Traditional Up and Smoke podcast start.
Yep.
Technical difficulties.
It has to be.
And of course, Glenn's not here again.
This is what, strike 4?
4 or 5.
4 or 5?
He has unlimited strikes. Let's be real. He makes it.
But today is our Veterans Day podcast because obviously we don't. Well, it's Thursday is the actual Veterans Day.
That is correct.
So we're honoring our veterans today because we don't go live on Thursday.
That is true. Maybe down the road.
Maybe
Maybe.
down the road. But you know, I got our little service flags there. I'm missing Space Force though. They didn't make one.
Oh, it's also the newest one.
Did veterans even count it?
I have no idea.
They're not veterans yet. They haven't gotten out, so
Well, like,
I don't know if they.
does like veterans of the past count Space Force as like a branch of the military still?
I don't know.
What do they do?
They fight space ISIS.
Like, what? That's what exactly. What do they do? Like, I want to know like what Space Force actually does.
It's probably... I'll have to look into it, but I would assume it's more intelligence than anything.
They're
Because
gonna.
if they're not fighting aliens,
Yeah, they're gonna fight Elon Musk and his army on Mars.
you know, it's curious to think like they have a whole branch, and I know it's a branch off from the Air Force because it specifically says Space Force, you know, is part of United States Air Force.
How would you shoot a gun in space?
You can't. There's no combustion.
Because there's no oxygen.
Didn't MythBusters do that once? Like they put a gun like in like a space type environment.
In a vacuum chamber?
Yeah, and it
I think,
didn't work, right?
Now, if you were to use a harpoon gun,
That would work.
that would work.
But it would go forever.
Correct.
It would also propel you backwards because it's still a little bit of force.
Correct.
Yep.
I think, what was it when they did that? The theory is that even though the force, obviously, when we're here on the ground shooting, we have gravity helping us. But once you're in space and you have none of that, all that blowback is just pushing you back.
Mm-hmm. It's actually pretty crazy to think. Like, we actually have a military branch to defend us against aliens.
We will thank them
Space
one
Force.
day.
Yeah, one day
Yeah.
we'll thank them. When,
One day.
you know,
like
the
fucking 2,000 years, but
like when the aliens from Nebulon 7 come and attack us.
when the sun's about to explode and they go to fight it.
I think they're actually aren't they going to be part of like the first colonizations of like the moon or Mars or
I
whatever
have
they wanted to do?
no
look
idea
at
in that
that.
respect.
We haven't even gotten there yet, and we're already trying to govern the moon and all the different planets.
Yeah.
All
well,
right, so we have someone in chat already.
Oh, who's in chat?
Glenn's dad.
Hey, Glenn, how are you? Glad to
and he
see
said-
you're here.
Damn.
And he said, have a great show, guys.
Thank you.
We will.
Thank you.
And we thank you for always being here.
Yes, one of our true loyal watchers.
the beginning.
From the very
From the
beginning. Actually, he hasn't missed a podcast, and his son's missed more.
Oh.
But I'm sure whatever he's doing is better be important.
Very better be.
But let's stay on topic at hand here, because today we're honoring our great veterans and active service members. Because we at Up and Smoke, we love our military here.
Absolutely.
They're the greatest fighting force on the planet, and I dare any other country to say otherwise.
And I second that.
I'll
No.
third it.
I would hope so.
I was like, do I jump in on this?
They're protecting your freedom.
Except Space Force, I don't know what they're doing.
Well, they're there.
They're there.
They're protecting your freedom from Nebulon 7.
All right, Mio jumped in chat. She said, there is an advantage if you can have missiles. Missiles. Exploding rockets launched from space instead of land.
There's some pretty scary shit in space. that we
Technically,
know
if they
about.
just
God, yeah.
drop something from space.
We have that. We have the tungsten rods. All we
Okay,
gotta
then.
do is drop from the satellites.
We have
That'll be like, what was that?
Was it,
G.I. Joe.
And it's called Thor's hammer, I think it is.
Yeah, it's
right?
yeah, Thor's. I think it's actually called Mjolnir, isn't it?
Might be.
Or
I have to
is
double
it
check.
actually just Thor's hammer? 'Cause that's not as
I want
cool.
to see him use it once, just to see.
We'll
what
all die. That would be terrible.
They're massive tungsten rods.
Mhm.
But what impact would it have on something?
Yeah, okay, so if you drop, let's just say on the UK,
Hmm.
there wouldn't be one left.
So we made this why?
Rods from God.
Oh,
The
yeah,
rods
shit.
from Kata.
They had to put a little rhyme into it.
Yeah, it's a kinetic weapon that hits with nuclear weapon force, but no radiation.
No, yep.
No
it's
radioactive
Like the,
fallout.
it's like the Moab,
What if you shoot a gun using magnetic force in space? Technically, you wouldn't have a blowback.
like a laser.
It still
beam
will.
type thing?
No,
It's
magnetic
the-
force like to propel it forward.
Like a railgun.
No, literally like magnets.
Yeah,
That's
rail,
what a
it's a
railgun
railgun.
is.
Fucking no. Think I'm a science
We
person?
actually
No.
have railguns. Our U.S. Navy is experimenting with those.
Nothing like shooting through a car engine.
Shooting through a car engine, it can shoot through a car engine like what, 8 million miles away?
Yeah. Only problem is after like 3 shots, they can't use it again.
Because of all the
The,
batteries.
the kinetic energy and the friction alone, it like warps everything.
And the whole ship is just batteries.
Yep.
The whole thing is just batteries. Which is pretty neat when you think about it. But like,
Glenn's dad commented. He said the electric at his house is having issues.
well, see, that's important. That's important.
Sorry, I'm not an electrician. I don't know.
Yeah, I suck
we're
at
missing electrician in the group.
Yeah, we don't know any electricians. Sorry.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You know good ones?
One's a good one. One's a good one. One's a good one.
Because you had to think about it.
Jeff
that
is
long.
good. Jeff is good. I promise.
There you go. You'll send Glenn Jeff's number. Get him some business.
Yo, Glenn lives mad fucking far.
Ah.
From my house, it's 50
no,
Oh,
minutes.
from
his
your
house,
house.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
That
no,
is true.
I do. I know, Brian, your grandfather was in the military.
Yep.
So was mine, Alex. I know nothing about anything in your family tree.
Chris went through basic training.
That's it.
Counts. And he left like 3/4 of the way through.
So he washed out. No, that doesn't really count.
That doesn't
He didn't wash out. He technically got dismissed for medical issue,
Oh, there you go. There's a difference. There is a difference.
but he never went back. So,
But yeah, no, my grandfather was Navy Seabees.
And mine was in the army. World War II.
Yeah, the camera wouldn't see my grandfather's uniforms over there in the corner, so we took them down. There were his actual World War II uniforms from the ship he served on. But no, surprisingly, no name of the ship on it. I have no idea what ship he served on.
That'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, I have. Well, there's nobody left to find that out from. My father had no idea.
No, you could still find the records.
But like, I have all of his service medals and whatnot up there, including a Japanese Marines hat, which he always claimed that he killed, but he openly also said that he has no idea because they got bonsai raided at night. He goes, I'll just take credit for it. Because for people that don't know what the Seabees do, is they're the ones who like build airstrips and take down barricades and all that other stuff. They're basically like the workhorse of the Navy.
Yes. Basically, you need something constructed. They're the ones to do it.
Oh, they're the sappers of the Navy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And you know, my grandfather, his entire unit was brought from the Pacific, sent to Normandy to clear the beachheads, and then shipped back to the Pacific. At least that's what he told me. Take that for what it's worth. From what my father used to tell me, my grandfather would embellish stuff. But I always have them. I have my grandfather's Navy dog tags from World War II. And because of terms of service, I didn't bring my grand on today. Even though that saw 2 wars.
Yes.
Fuck terms of service.
That sank in the ocean about 5 years ago.
What was that?
And it sank in the ocean about 5 years ago.
Oh, no. That's my pride and joy. They can try and take it.
But I know my grandfather was on Normandy Beach. I think he was within the 2nd wave that landed. But from what he's told me, it was hell. Literally hell on earth.
I would imagine. Like, just a carnage.
I've been, every time I would go to my parents' house, I've been trying to find uniform because I know we had it from when we moved and everything, and
That'd
Dude,
be pretty neat if you could
the
find
jacket
that.
has bullet holes in it, and my grandfather was never hit.
That'd be pretty neat if you could find it.
There we go.
Probably like your parents have an attic.
Yes, I've already sifted through almost everything.
Almost.
Almost.
It's that one box in the corner that you ignored.
Probably.
Yeah,
the one
probably
all the way
is.
in the corner.
The one you're like, nah, it's too small to fit in there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like, I could only imagine like being a soldier on Normandy.
Glenn's dad said his dad was a Green Beret.
Very nice.
And Hammer Pear said thank you guys for the support of our veterans.
Who? Well, who's Hammer Pear?
No idea.
Well,
Hammer
you're
Pear?
welcome, because we love our military, past and present.
That we do.
Yeah, of course. If you're military and you feel comfortable talking about your experiences, you know, let us know. Let us know what unit you were in, or let us know what you did.
Absolutely.
Your MOS, whatever.
We'd love to hear it.
What day is it? My buddy is shipping out in today's the 9th, on the
To basic?
22nd.
To basic training.
Mhm.
Good.
There you go.
I always wanted to join the military, but my back injury prevented me from being able to do that.
I think all of us here actually thought about it at one point, and then all of us had a reason we couldn't outside of our control.
I wanted to join. I wanted to do the Army artillery. I wanted a big gun. I wanted to shoot a big gun. Shoot a big gun at terrorists.
Hey man, the damn field artillery they have.
Well, I'm too big to fit in a tank.
I'm too big to fit in a tank.
I'm perfect.
No, it's a tight squeeze.
Have you seen me at paintball?
No.
He's not actually. That's a good point.
I could do it.
I've seen Alex fit into things like half his size. He'll make his way through. He
Did
doesn't
you
care.
ever? Have you been to the U.S. Intrepid?
Yes, I have. I haven't been in a while.
Did you see the entry hatch to the B-52 bomber?
No, I did not.
It's like a small square, smaller than this table to get in.
This table's pretty big.
It's like if you cut it in half.
That's still pretty big.
That's like pretty big for someone like you, maybe. But I probably wouldn't even be able to get my shoulders through the hatch.
Oh, that's a fucking lot of space.
For a small person. I tried to go through the submarine.
Bro, I could walk through that.
I tried to go through the submarine at the Intrepid and I couldn't fit. Yeah, it's just that fighting men back then were a lot smaller. Well, it's scientifically proven that, you know, through evolution and through time, U.S. got taller and wider.
Well, I will say one thing. One of my best experiences was on the battleship New Jersey, where they let you like spend the night there.
Mhm.
That was crazy on how high those cots go, bunk wise.
I just thought about this. If for whatever reason we get into warfare again, these trenches are gonna be deep as shit. You guys are gonna be able to see fine. I'm gonna need a fucking step stool.
We'll have to find you a box.
Just 3 ammo cans stacked up. Okay, now stand on it. Add 2 more for staircase.
I'd have to say the most interesting thing is because I used to do Civil War reenactment, which I think I've said before. But
In case you didn't know.
But in case you didn't know, I did Civil War reenactment for the Union. But occasionally they're like, we need Confederates, so I would just take my Union jacket off, and because it's not as hot. But whenever I would go to Gettysburg to do it, I was always in, you know, my full wool Union uniform in 110-degree weather in an open field in Pennsylvania at Gettysburg. And you have not felt heat until you do something that crazy. But because like you're so ramped up, like, oh my God, I'm fighting for freedom of the United States, it kind of like slips your mind, and then you're like, okay, but I need to fall really quick because I need to lay down for a little while.
Wait, didn't you say you fell but into a stream?
No, that was at Waterloo Village. We were doing a little skirmish thing. You know, it was like there was only like 10 Confederates versus like, you know, 8 or 9 of us Union guys. And they were a dismounted cavalry unit. It was pretty neat. They brought their saddles and everything. It was really neat. But it was so hot And I got in a lot of trouble too for falling because there's a little stream that runs in the back of Waterloo Village by where their blacksmith is. And I was so hot I couldn't take it anymore, so I made it look like I got shot. I threw my rifle down because I'm not throwing that in the lake because it could actually, they're real guns. And I just rolled down the hill into the water. And let me tell you, wool when it's wet, oh, you smell like a wet dog after a while. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
But was it worth it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
How much trouble did you get in?
A lot, actually, by the park's curator. Because, they don't want you to risk drowning. Because it is still like a moving stream. They don't want the current to take you. And I looked at the guy, I go, look at the size of it. You think like a small current's going to take me?
At the same time, you did roll. Once you start rolling, no matter who you are, it's very hard to stop.
Especially because, it wasn't like... It was a pretty steep incline. But it was worth it to me. I didn't care. Because I went to him, I showed him my ID, and it said Rutan. And there's a house at Waterloo Village called the Rutan House. I go, so that's mine, so I live here. And they're like, oh, well, because of the historical significance, we won't throw you out. I go, that's you damn right. You damn right. Now get out of my house. My dad actually signed a registry in there.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn.
And that's actually not where that house was originally built. It was built, I think they said like a couple hundred miles away, like on a mountaintop, and they moved it there. But it's still my house. So get out.
I definitely want to go out to see one of the reenactments and whatnot.
If you want me
It's
to
good
shit
to-
out there with them,
It's
you
good
have
to observe,
Mm-hmm.
but if you want to die of heat exhaustion, then join it.
There's a quick way to do that. Just go into your attic without the fan on in the summertime. I promise it gets just as hot, except there's no adrenaline rushing through you. It's just you
just
standing
go up
there.
there and put the movie Gettysburg on. There you go. You're there.
No, you just have to stand there and just think about your decision on why the fuck you're up there. Because that's what I had to do all summer long.
I know the last reenactment, whatever I went to, was at Picatinny Arsenal when they did
They did a Civil War or World War II?
World War II.
Yeah, those were fun. Those were fun.
That we're talking 20 years ago that I went.
Well, especially now because Picatinny's close to the public. Goddamn terrorists. Ruined it
Close
all.
to the public.
No, dude, like
I'm not public.
you're not military.
He's
personnel
contracted
either.
work.
Public servant, I think it was called.
But no, there was actually the funny thing is that when you're going down Route 15, there's like a little break in the fence,
Mhm.
and some kids tried to sneak onto the property.
Bad
Rip.
idea.
And I guess because it's constantly surveillanced, the military shut down a quarter of 15 to arrest those kids.
I can see it.
Because, why would you do something that dumb?
How old were the kids?
They were probably like 15, 16 years old.
I can think of stupider shit I've done.
You're not stupid enough to advance onto a military base. You're risking your life at that point.
Okay, yeah, but have you seen the newer generations?
Yeah, they're
Okay,
He's-
then.
He's got a point.
Like, my bad ideas are nowhere close to the stupid shit they want to do.
My thing is, like, you had to know they're going to catch you.
No, they don't.
Why wouldn't
There are
you?
so
No.
many times where you look at something like,
That being
I can
said,
do it.
I give a lot of credit to the kids nowadays, getting out of high school and everything and actually joining the military. I give them a lot of credit for
Oh,
that,
yeah. Well,
considering the other selection of individuals from their class.
it's a tough sacrifice, though, because there might come a time where you have to make that ultimate sacrifice. And I think only a select few people
Are
are prepared for that, yeah. And if that's something that's like, to me, joining the military is something that you thought about for a long time. It's not like just, oh, I think I'll join the army today. Because if you're joining for that reason, if you're that short on money, maybe, but
Not
most
like a
people,
new
most
Camaro.
people live it, or they had a family member that was in it, or something to that point. It's not like a scapegoat because it's not a safe job. It's not
Not
like,
at all.
Depends what, not branch, what the fuck is it called? What job you choose.
you don't really get a choice. Like, you could submit, like, oh, I want to be a mechanic, but that doesn't mean you're going to be a mechanic.
If you score high enough.
Oh, on your ASVABs?
Mm.
Yeah, but there's still no guarantees.
It's no guarantee, but they let you choose the first, second, third pick.
Like, if any of us wanted to join the Air Force, there's no way we could become pilots.
Fuck that.
We all
no
wear
way.
corrective lenses. We can't become pilots.
If you get it corrected, you can.
With
LASIK.
with LASIK?
I don't like the idea.
Fun
of
fact:
LASIK.
in World War I and II, if you were colorblind, that was actually an advantage you had, because you could pinpoint camouflage stuff on the ground when you were scouting the areas out.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that. That's pretty funny.
That was something I learned. I was like, wait, really?
That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought
Do you
that.
think colorblind people know they're colorblind?
Well, you know, they make those colorblind corrective lenses now.
Yeah.
And how do you, like, you're going to have to trust a person that says, yeah, that's green. Because you've never seen green before.
You have to trust everyone by what they're saying. Until, like, people, I don't think people know that they're colorblind until someone points at something and says, oh yeah, the blue car. And then you're like, that's not blue. Only then do they realize, oh shit, I'm colorblind.
But then you got to, like, take somebody's word for, especially when you get those corrective lenses, and be like, yeah, no, grass is green. But it's been gray your whole life.
Or blue.
So you don't know. You're going to have to trust that person, like, oh, yeah, I guess that is what the color green looks like.
Can you imagine you live your whole life thinking grass is blue?
There are people that live that way.
Mia just commented. She said, unfortunately, it's a scapegoat for some. I know a kid who joined simply because it would take him away from his abusive parents.
Well, that's
Okay,
a whole different scenario. But I mean, there are people that join the military for the wrong reasons too. Like they think they're just going to go out and kill terrorists. That's not what it's about. You know, and it's those people that like those. There was a group of Marines that were running a prison in the Middle East, and they all went to Fort Leavenworth because they were torturing people. That's not what the military. That's not what we're supposed to represent. Our military is supposed to be professional, which it is for the most part. But there's corrupt people in everything.
It has its pockets.
Right, there's corrupt people in every institution on this planet. Just look at Joe Biden.
And then there's Jersey. And then there's New Jersey.
I mean, and that's another thing. I'd like to apologize to our service members that they have such a shitty commander in chief.
I will agree with
and
that.
that they actually have to listen to what fucking illiterate Joe says.
Oh, it's not Sippy Cup anymore?
You know, he's a little bit of everything. Sippy cup.
Well, you find one and pick one. You gotta stick with it. That's your trademark thing, bro.
Well, first of all, I got that from Sean Hannity.
I'll pretend like I know who that is, but continue.
He's a news correspondent on Fox News.
I'll pretend I watch TV. Continue.
But no, I'm just explaining that I got Sippy Cup Joe from Sean Hannity.
So you need your own original thing.
Ooh.
Come on, what you got?
Ooh.
We'll get back to you on that next week.
Yeah, really.
Think
'Cause
about
I can come up with a lot of stuff for that fucking dipshit.
There we go. See? Easy.
Dipshit Joe.
Dipshit Joe.
Oh God. But no, I do agree. Obviously, there are people who will join for the wrong reasons. And
But hopefully it fixes them.
That's true. You know what though? There's nothing stronger than that bond.
No, I mean that's a bond, a bond of brotherhood and sisterhood because inclusiveness. That's something that you'll never get anywhere else.
I will say that bond does take time to form.
Of course.
Let me tell you, the quickest bond I ever came with people was when I went skydiving.
What in the world are you doing?
It's YouTube. The quickest bond I've ever had with people was skydiving. Because you're all about to jump out of a fucking plane together.
He's
We're
got
like,
a point.
Good luck, good luck, good luck. See you on the ground. Yeah, good luck. And then we all jump.
Well, you see, that's why I like the military version. Like, if you're jumping, at least you're hooked to the thing that's guaranteed to pull your chute. Hopefully.
You hope.
What, like the 101st Airborne guys and the 82nd Airborne guys?
We're
No matter
surrounded.
what, there's always
exactly.
that chance. No matter
Yeah.
how slim it is.
Yeah, you're talking about the quote from Colonel Winters. we're Lieutenant. We're supposed to be. We're airborne. We're supposed to be surrounded, or something to that effect. Go watch Band of Brothers, by the way. Amazing show. Amazing show.
I watched it countless times.
Yep. I like the Pacific, but it's too much of a love story too, instead of, the struggles of the soldiers. But it was good. It was good.
It was. And Band of Brothers does try to make it as accurate as possible. And they
Saving
do
Private Ryan too,
Yes.
especially the Normandy scene in the beginning.
Yes.
And then you have Vin Diesel shitty acting. Sorry, sir. It reminds me of my niece because it's family.
Of course. Right on into it, huh?
It's family, sir.
No, but it's obviously, I kind of wish my grandfather didn't pass as early as he did. I would have loved to hear or have heard more stories from him.
Some people don't talk about it. My uncle doesn't talk about shit. We recently just found out he served in the military
Really?
in Vietnam. He never said a word. My father never even said anything about it.
Wow.
No, he had to have known. What is he going to do? Hey, Mom, where's Tom?
I know with my grandfather, he was very open about it. Very open about it because he always had a lesson in regards to it, too. You always have to look at your past to improve and move forward.
And kill Nazis.
Don't jump in the hole.
And always kill Nazis.
Jump in the hole second, not first.
But, again, looking at your past so you don't repeat it.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that's where this country's headed.
I was about to say, they haven't learned yet.
Well, they haven't.
For the amount of shit that we do, we still haven't learned
We're
yet.
still, on a hairpin needle of a civil war again in this country because people don't want their rights infringed. And that's what these people are fighting for. So our rights don't get infringed. And it's like fucking dipshit Joe just wipes his ass with all of the service people's responsibilities and what they fight for.
My question is, what percentage do you think the country's split in right now?
Nobody. Joe Biden right now has, I think, a 23% approval rating.
It's the lowest out of all of them.
Kamala Harris is even lower because she's not around.
I was gonna say, has she done anything? I haven't seen any news
No.
about her at all.
I'm pretty sure she still has yet to visit the border.
No, she stopped by 100
No.
miles away.
Actually visit the border.
No, she's not going to do
I'm
that.
pretty sure she's like MIA.
She is MIA.
I haven't seen any news about her at all.
She's completely MIA.
She's missing.
See, but I think what she's biding her time. She's like a viper in the grass.
She's just hiding under her desk, drawing with a crayon.
What did we do? What did we do? What is this old man doing to us?
Oh,
He sniffs
shit.
my hair.
Well, all we know is, military speaking, we have gotten a lot of new toys.
Oh, yeah.
We still have one of the best fighters in the
All
world.
right, so I want your opinion on it because the warriors of World
Bring
War II say they're the greatest fighting force in history.
Okay.
Do you think that's true, or do you think that no matter what, throughout history, all of our soldiers throughout history are the greatest fighting force?
Repeat the question, because I fucking
Okay.
blanked out for a second.
All right, so in the World War II vets called themselves the greatest fighting force the world's ever seen. Do you think that all of our servicemen, from the colonials to current, are the greatest fighting force? Or is it just the vets of World War II? And the other guys are like, yeah, we're here, we're great, but we're not as good as them.
It's difficult to say because different technology levels.
That's very true.
It's like if you were to compare fucking a caveman versus the Roman Empire. Completely different levels of technology and weapons
Alright.
and everything else.
Right,
now,
but it made it more difficult for them because they didn't have technology.
let me throw this out there. In terms of morale, in terms of mindset, in terms of the military leaders we had, how long was their training in World War II? In comparison?
Because of the draft, not very long.
What was that, 30 days?
I think it was 6 weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah, longer than I thought.
just the amount of grit that they had.
And like you're taking like 16 and 17-year-olds and you're pushing them out of an airplane. And they didn't want, some of those guys didn't want, nobody wants to get drafted. It's something that you want to volunteer for, or, it's something you wanted to make a career out of, but these people had no choice. You're going.
Yeah, for the situation that they were in, I would say yes. They would be right. But every single one before them thought the same thing. We are the greatest fighting force on.
But they're the only ones who said it.
And it's been referred to as.
The greatest fighting force the world has ever seen.
That's because we took a fucked situation and we won.
It's true, we did. But I mean, look, what about the colonial army? They took a really fucked situation and kicked the shit out of the Brits.
Yeah, they just didn't say anything about it.
No, they were very humble about it, I guess.
Glenn's dad commented and said his dad never spoke about it.
See, there's just sometimes it's so traumatizing. I mean, you can only see so much death before it really affects you. Even if you didn't know the person, it still affects you. I'm sure half those people that stormed Normandy didn't know everybody there.
No.
But just watching people get mowed down like bowling pins has got to just do something to your psyche. Like, I give those guys credit because I don't know how I'd be able to put my head on my pillow at night and not see that every time. Maybe they do. I don't know.
It's as I said, it's its own whole mindset.
And of course, now we lost those 13 soldiers that could have been prevented.
I missed that. Go ahead.
The 13 soldiers that were killed could have been prevented. What recently happened with that?
We're like not even 100 days ago.
I don't want to watch the news either.
You didn't know that 13 soldiers were killed in Afghanistan when...
Oh, at the airport?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like an incident that just happened. Like,
no.
Like, have I missed something?
No. Well, nobody's there anymore. We gave all of our technology and everything to the fucking
that's why I was
terrorists.
confused. I was like 13.
So, I can tell you one thing. Brian and I, was it 2 nights ago, were looking through quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And one we found that we loved enough to put on a pint glass.
Yes, we do have.
Which is on our
Veterans Day
store.
We do have Veterans Day merch. Which
It's
is going to
this.
last a week, right?
Actually, I'm going to run it till the end of the month.
Oh, okay.
All right. The quote is this: "Courage is fear holding on a minute longer." From General George S. Patton.
One of the greatest generals ever. Until he smacked a fucking private in the face with a... Just wasn't wearing his tie.
That's how you build discipline.
Well, the military didn't see it that way. They were very upset with Georgie that day.
Hey, my parents did the same thing. Not behaving.
But that being said, that quote is on the pint glass.
Yep.
And on the coffee mug, and that is up on our store as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm definitely going to say this. That quote does speak volumes.
Yeah, it does.
Courage is always pushing past that point of fear. And fear holding on.
And those men and women do that for us.
Every day.
And they do it selflessly for us, the American people. We didn't ask them to do it. They chose to do it for us. A sacrifice that we couldn't do, but they chose to do it for us. Which is something that we could never thank them enough. Honestly. We can never thank our fighting forces enough. In whatever endeavor they're in. Because it looks like it might be China. Sorry. or the Russians. Who knows? I mean, it's scary to think about that we're, have that many enemies out there because of that guy.
Do we, though? Because they take advantage of them.
Yeah, they do take advantage of it.
They're
Actually.
not technically enemies, or they're not technically allies either.
Well, they
At
take
this point,
advantage
they're
of
just kinda
Joe's
there.
dumbness.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point, they're just kind of there.
I mean,
Exactly.
all they got to do is just tell Joe, hey, look, we'll do this, and he'll give them a list of what not to do. He gave that to the Russians. Hey, guys, if you're going to hack us, just don't hack these. We need those.
You can hack everything else.
But not these.
Just give them a targeted list of like the most important stuff in our infrastructure.
Thank you.
I mean,
Actually, at this point, they could pretty much get away with anything as long as they give him oil.
yeah, pretty much. pretty much. And now even the military has to get vaxxed or they get fired.
What's your opinion on what happened in New York? All the firefighters, and I think it was just the firefighters, right?
No, it's all public service workers. You're
So-
talking about
The strike.
The mandate, right?
but they all went on a protest.
I didn't hear about the protest, so I just heard about the mandate. Continue.
Oh, you're talking about how they have to get vaxxed or they get fired.
They didn't get fired. They're on leave, unpaid leave, until they get vaccinated.
That's ridiculous.
And they can't just.
They had to at least get. They had 9 days to get the first dose.
Nobody should force anybody to put something in their body that they don't want. Isn't that like why rape is illegal? Because somebody's forcing something upon you that you don't want. So you're raping people with vaccines, essentially. Not to downplay the severity of rape, but
This is taking quite a turn.
but no, essentially you're telling people they have to put something in their body that they don't want.
Yes, or you're fired.
Or
Well,
you're-
not fired. Unpaid leave until you get it.
so essentially you're fired.
And they're not giving him an out like negative COVID test.
Nope.
every week.
No. Joe even said
Even-
that for corporations that's going to come to an end.
Even though they
OSHA came
clearly
up with that
said-
emergency rule, and that's
Who's OSHA to do that though?
already federal court has denied it and is blocking it.
But
Even-
who's OSHA to do that?
even on their website, it's saying companies over 100 don't have to be vaccinated. They just have to take daily tests and test negative. And their company's well over 100, but they're not biting by that.
But
apparently.
that's going to end. Joe's going to end that. And you have to be vaccinated or you're done. You're fired.
Finally. After today, I'm done digging holes.
And then it's going to trickle down to small businesses.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You're vaccinated or you're fired. And if you don't comply, you have to pay $14,000. Well, come and take it. Who's going to enforce it? Supposedly he's going to turn OSHA into the Gestapo for his fucking, regime. Okay, but who's going to take my money?
Fuck you, OSHA. I'm forklift certified. I am, though.
Are you really?
Yeah. Bro, I work in construction. What do you think?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I drove a forklift once. That was fun. You got to drift it around corners.
Yo, that shit's dangerous as shit. Used to do that in the warehouse all the time.
The fun one is the one where it's like the stand-up one, and it's like a hoverboard type one.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh yeah, when I used to work in the factory, did security, they had those to move the pallets in and out of trucks. And during the holidays, we were closed, so I was just riding around. I didn't care.
Hey,
Fucking...
you do the same thing with Apologetics, right? You ride that thing like a fucking scooter.
Mhm.
That is fun, especially when you get a running start. Oh,
All right. So we have a comment in chat from Mr. Pear. While it's true that many join to get away from a bad home life, people of all backgrounds working together for a common goal is a common trend. Everyone starts off doing it for different reasons.
Yep, very true.
But it involves to simply doing it for the guy next to you. That's something many vets, regardless, would never trade the unspoken bonds.
Wow, very well put. Very
Agreed.
well put. That was very nice. Very, very nice. My mom, it just brought a tear to my mom's eye, and I'm not even kidding. I don't know who that is.
We don't.
random stranger.
That's fine though.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
But yeah, no, I agree. And speaking of coming together, it's exactly what Biden has ended up doing.
Oh,
A
what,
lot of people who had a lot of different opinions are now
against him?
setting their differences aside.
No, because people don't like tyranny. Doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on, whether you're Democrat or Republican, you don't like your rights being infringed. You know, that was the whole point of this country, this great country, is that we're supposed to be free. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave. I mean, this is what this country was built for. Our forefathers built it for that.
Okay, so his rating's at about 23%. Right now, currently, or?
We have the internet.
Actually, I think I got it
Interwebs.
wrong. I think he's at 32% and Harris is at 23%.
Dyslexic?
Probably.
I've had plenty of dyslexic moments,
Just today, or
just in general.
I think he's
All right, just in job ratings, he's dropped to 42%.
Ooh,
in job ratings?
he's paying people not to work.
As of September 22nd of this year, Biden's rating has dropped to 34% and Harris to 49%.
Can you imagine? That was 2 months ago. What are we at now?
It's terrible. I mean, you would think as the president, you would look at that and be like, wow, maybe I should fix something.
Has he been in there a year yet?
Nope.
No, and that's what's scary.
Make your bets. What's gonna happen? If his rating gets any lower at this point,
Well, hopefully he gets impeached before, a conflict happens.
they tried to do that to Trump. It didn't work out.
Because Trump didn't do anything wrong. He just wouldn't keep his mouth shut. There's a difference. If Trump kept his fucking mouth shut like he should 90% of the time, they couldn't get him. They couldn't make shit up like they made up on him. And that was my biggest gripe with Trump. Shut the fuck up. You're doing great. Leave it at that. Stop poking the fucking sleeping giant. If you just kept your fucking mouth shut, you would have probably went down as one of the best presidents in the United States and probably one of the most progressive presidents. But no, you wouldn't shut up with your fucking Twitter. So like his advisors should have just hit his phone.
Just take the hammer.
Where's my phone? It's gone. It broke. Fell in the toilet. Sorry. This is great stuff.
I'll tell you one
I
thing.
invented the toilet. Did you know that?
Whoever a phone manufacturer is that supplies them like the contract for their phones, everything. If they actually did that, I bet you whoever bought those things or was selling it to them was the happiest people on earth. Every day, brand new phone.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
I mean,
We're running out of chips.
all you had to do was just like hide it on them. That's it. Just for
Just,
like a
just take the fucking
SIM
the
card,
card out.
Yeah, take the SIM card out.
Why is there
Here you
no
go.
internet?
Well,
All
give him some keys and let jingle him in front of him.
Give
or
him that
something.
fake
Here we
one,
go.
the good one.
The cow
Biden's
says
here we
move.
go. Biden's current approval rating is at 42.8% approved and 51.3 disapproval. So that percentage gap between the two is either strongly agree or
Yeah, but you see
Or
those
not
like
strongly,
13
like, slightly.
Republicans just passed the fucking infrastructure bill,
Yeah, which is fucked.
which is ridiculous.
Yeah, because we want to spend 1.2 trillion when we're how many in debt?
$19 trillion in debt.
Shit. Well, guess what? Now we're 21, give or take.
Like,
trillion
I
in
get
debt.
it though. The infrastructure bill is to help with bridges and repairs and all that other shit.
Yeah, and so are
But
the
this
tolls.
is like a Joe Biden gateway drug. That was like Joe Biden smoking weed, and now he'll be able to fucking snort crack with his Build Back Better bullshit.
Wait, hold on. So, infrastructure bill is contemplating canceling the other or stopping the other pipeline.
Right,
So gas is going to go up even more.
correct.
Well, the
Dumbass.
minimum wage will not.
No.
So guess who's riding a horse to work? Because it's cheaper at this point.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, just buy a horse. We'll
Yeah,
go back
exactly.
to Paul Revere days.
Exactly. Who needs gas when you have carrots?
So, like when Joe Biden comes down with his motorcade, you can ride your horse. The dipshit is coming. The dipshit is coming.
Don't tempt me.
No, but it's sad.
It
Very
is.
sad.
It is,
Like
especially
California
like
needs any more problems.
Hold on. So,
California can fucking break away from the United States. Go away.
so as we speak,
It's got
gas
one
is
something.
officially 100% more expensive than it was this point last year.
Mhm.
Are we at the 100% mark?
We already are.
Yep, thanks, Joe. Thank you, Joe. We have
Hybrid.
no fucking goods coming in because they're all stuck out at sea.
Yep.
Because nobody wants to fucking be truck drivers because apparently people are too good for that.
Now, you know
I
what?
thought about it.
You know what I'm going to have to say that
Making good penny
absolutely
right now.
sucks.
Right now, but then it's gonna be like, I have few people who
Hold on.
run
Hold
24-hour
on.
shifts with me, but
My store has a discount going this week for all veterans,
Oh,
as
that's
they do
nice.
as they do every year. So Staples right now it's 25% off, as long as you can show them your military ID. That's the only time we give them discounts. Yeah,
Really? That's it?
that's it. I
Where
hate
were
it.
Where were they not veterans any other time?
I don't know.
Exactly. I personally hate that. Now, that being said, look at the way things are now. Half the stuff people need, you can't even get your hands on.
Nope. But
So-
it's there. It's
Yeah.
there. It's right out there.
Yeah.
What's good with the discount or the promotion or
If
you
there's
know,
nothing
thank
fucking
you,
there,
thank you for serving our military.
here's
and protecting our
25% off
country.
Nothing.
Sorry, I don't got anything. We're gonna give you a discount, but I don't have anything.
Now, is everyone stocked up on toilet paper? 'Cause apparently we're gonna have this issue again.
Again?
Probably. Well, not actively, but it's like once the shipping and everything starts getting even more fucked, people are gonna flock to toilet paper once again, probably.
Nah, he's got a point.
People are flocking for everything, though. The day that rice becomes hard to get is the day the world has
The
fallen.
day rice is hard to get. This day I'm gonna be very, very upset.
It's the day the world has fallen.
I'm gonna just start buying bags of rice. Thanks.
Not a bad idea, though.
It's not
It would last forever.
until a mouse gets to it.
Just get like big ass bins and fill them.
You know what? I think it was either Korea or Japan. They have square bags of rice that stack real fucking nice. Like,
See?
like instead of like those fucking heavy ass.
That's because they're thinking of something. It's called long-term storage.
ease of storage.
You know, even MREs are unaffordable at this point.
I know. Thank God I still have a Kratom.
Yeah, it's true. You do. I forgot
Thank
about
you,
that.
Mom.
Fuck that. You know what we do? We go to one of those military surplus ones, get the individual ones.
They
skyrocketed in price.
Super expensive now. They
Not
used
if
to
you
be
live
dirt
next
cheap.
to a military base. Apparently, if you live like real fucking close to a military base, all the surplus stores around there, cheap as shit.
Might have to look into that just in case. In case the dog times come.
I'll have rice.
I'll have rice too, but
I don't know how cheap, but I can live off rice.
I can.
Plain white rice, I have no issue with it.
I can't live off of just plain white rice.
Get some soy sauce. We'll mix it up, eat it.
What am I in the Chinese military?
If you're hungry, you're hungry, bro. Listen, it's called laziness, alright? Sometimes I'll open up the can of ravioli. I won't even heat that bitch up. I'm lazy. I'm going back upstairs and just eating out the can.
Ugh.
Listen, it's the same shit, just warmed up.
No, the fact that you put canned and ravioli in the same sentence is gross.
Chef Boyardee, bitch.
Oh,
Follows you home.
follows you right to the toilet.
No.
That's
That's,
where-
that's
that's where they-
McDonald's.
That's where they made the sauce in. For Chef Boyardee, right
Listen,
in the toilet.
If you're lazy enough, it'll do.
I could get pretty lazy, but I'm not gonna fucking eat canned.
Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, no,
Mm-mm. Hard no.
no.
Listen, it's either rice with soy sauce or Chef Boyardee.
I'll eat the rice with soy sauce.
Okay, there we go. Stop complaining.
But you know, the one thing you gotta do is you gotta show Dan how to use the rice cooker so it doesn't burn on the bottom.
I don't know what the fuck you're doing to it. Are you just not putting enough water? Is that what it is?
I put more than you do at times.
And it's still burning on the bottom?
Yep.
Like every time.
You guys might need a new rice cooker.
That's to measure the water.
Yeah. Not even. You'll just see like a little bit of your fingers sticking out the top. And that's
See,
it.
I have a feeling is that we're not getting to it when all the water's gone and getting
When
out
it
quick
pops
enough.
up, it should just be warming. It shouldn't be heating up anymore. Just keeping it warm.
Oh no, it like fucking.
Are you adding something else to it?
just sometimes we just use chicken stock. That's it.
Oh, that should be good. Are you adding anything to the water?
No.
You might just need a new rice cooker. They shouldn't be doing that at all.
Looks like I'm
You
going
might,
back
you
to the
might,
Asian
you
market.
might need to add like a shit ton of water. Like a stupid amount of water. No finger method no more. You gotta go up like fucking 2-finger method.
We
They
already
just-
did.
If
Yeah,
you have
we've
this
done
much
it.
rice, fill that thing to the brim.
We've done it. Burns. It's true.
I guess that rice cooker's temperamental.
No, it's racist.
Since it was in proper hands. Well, no, I was actually thinking about getting a new rice cooker, one that's a little bit bigger.
almost want to try and recommend the one my dad got, but it's not an English one. He ordered the one in English. The one in whatever the fuck language that one is came, and then we had to get a fucking power converter for it
No.
because the plug was wrong. So we're like, all right, fuck it.
I'll get
But
the
it
one.
works
I'll get the one that
fucking
Uncle Roger
beautifully.
uses. The Zajirosu.
That one might be a tad expensive. We'll see.
I think it is actually. Well, he says it's 20 pounds in the UK.
So that's what, 25, 30 bucks over here.
That doesn't mean we'll find it for that over here, though.
It's about 26.
Well, actually, we're going to Chinatown on Sunday, right?
Yeah,
So I'll probably be able to find a rice cooker there for cheap.
100%. I know exactly where to bring you.
Because I do want to replace the rice cooker because I think that is what it's doing. It's dying.
It was a hand-me-down.
It was a hand-me-down, but it worked for what it was good for. For as long as we've had it, it doesn't owe us a
I'll
dime.
get you guys like a real big fucking rice cooker. We gotta get it at the end of the day. You don't want to be looking at that shit around all day. Because once you
Well,
put in the
first of
car
all-
in the parking garage, that's
first of
it.
all,
We ain't getting that back.
If Mom's going with us, she can't be doing all that walking anyway.
Yeah.
We will map things out.
So
But
we
that
have to plan a mapped itinerary. And we have to still find out if that bastard Glenn's going. He's bastard.
He has to be
Bastard
going.
guy.
He wants to go to the fucking Harry Potter store and that fucking wing place.
I'm good with just the Harry Potter store. If I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna eat my fill in Chinatown. Especially
We're
now because
getting
my new signature dish is egg fried rice.
Yeah, but we're getting that on
except
the
you
move,
forgot the
remember?
egg last time.
I did forget the egg because
How do you forget the egg and egg
because
fried
I was
rice?
being filmed and I was under pressure.
It's egg fried rice. Where's the
So,
egg?
it was just fried rice. It was shrimp fried rice with way too much shrimp. It overflowed. It killed my wok. It overburdened my wok.
Ay,
I know.
Worth
I
it.
Definitely would have gotten a hi-ya from Uncle Roger. I live on his YouTube channel.
yeah.
Uncle Roger, shout out to Uncle Roger. If you see this, I love you, dude. I learned fried rice from you.
You know what? Get an orange polo and then just sit.
I
here
will.
on the next
Maybe
one.
we'll have Uncle Roger Day. We'll put
Everyone orange polo. That's it.
orange polo with the belt phone case.
Shorts, and you gotta have your leg up.
I don't know if I can sit like that though.
you just gotta get your heel just like that, and it's good enough. We'll get you.
And we'll review a Jamie Oliver video. No.
Best impression wins. On
Oh,
day of.
God.
On day of. It's okay. I'm Asian. I consent to it. It is okay.
Well, I mean, Uncle Roger is a character, so therefore you're just showing your appreciation to his character by imitation. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Sincerest form of flattery, that's right.
I don't know. People who imitate whatever the fuck I do is usually not a good idea.
Well, that's because you do some very sketchy shit.
It's not sketchy. It's stupid. All right.
It's borderline sometimes.
Everything I do is legal.
Well, that's fine. As long as it's legal.
Therefore, it's not sketchy. It's just stupid. There's a difference.
That's true. There is a difference.
Well,
And the funny thing is if you're going to stick around, I have the ingredients to make some egg fried rice. I just don't have day-old rice.
Then you don't have all the ingredients you need for egg fried rice.
But I have rice. I'll just have to let it cool in the
I
refrigerator.
have
for a
rice.
little bit.
No, I have rice at home too. Doesn't mean I'm gonna make fried rice with fresh rice.
No, you let it cool in the refrigerator for a little bit.
Nope, not the same. Nope.
It's the same.
Refuse.
Okay, I know it's not the same.
Okay.
It's not the
okay.
Besides, you're gonna fuck up your fridge like that.
Mm.
You're adding heat to a cold unit, and then
Look,
it
I
has-
put it in a big enough container.
and then it's just gonna ramp the heat up in the fridge. So then the
No.
fridge ramps up the
We,
cooling.
we have it down to a science.
I
Put
don't
it in
know.
the freezer.
That's even worse. You're gonna melt something in the freezer. Oh, there goes. There
I
goes
know.
the popsicle. I was taught never put anything hot in the fucking fridge or freezer.
No, I get
Like,
it for
ever.
like overnight for food safety reasons. You're not supposed to do that because it grows bacteria. But if you do it for like an hour, it's not going to kill it. Well, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Glenn said that.
Pass.
Well,
Appreciate the thought.
I know we were also saying we were going to run this a lot shorter.
Yeah,
don't
we
have
are.
cigars or anything like that too.
No cigars today or anything. We don't even have the machines on.
Correct.
So yeah, let's take a little break.
Good, 'cause
We'll
my
come
leg's falling
back.
asleep.
And then we'll wrap things up for today. We'll keep it a real short episode.
Oh,
There we go.
my leg.
All right, y'all. We'll be right back.
Ignore
Stay
Alex.
tuned. We'll talk some more about our how we love our veterans and our active service.
Absolutely.
We're back, everybody. Sorry that took so
Yes, we
long,
are.
but we're making rice because now apparently I'm making egg fried rice. I know I'm making a cardinal sin and not using day-old cold rice, and I'm getting glared at by the Asian. I'm so sorry, but it is what it is, and I'm hungry. I know. I admit that I know it's a sin, but hopefully with enough MSG, it'll taste good.
With enough MSG, the Asian gods forgive you.
My ancestors will be crying.
Yes.
As Uncle Roger would say.
Mhm.
But no, that's like my new signature dish.
Egg fried rice?
Yeah. I learned it from Uncle Roger, so I learned it from an OG of rice.
Using shallots too. Very nice.
So I have
It's not for
I
the-
have sambal also.
It's not. Oh.
Ah. The next thing I want to learn how to make is nasi lemak, which is Singaporean.
Are you just trying to learn Singapore food?
I'm trying to learn more Asian cooking. Because in culinary school, they don't teach you that. You're Chino. They don't really teach you Asian style cooking. It's only traditional French.
No, not at CI.
Oh, they taught you that stuff?
If I stayed long enough, they would have brought you to every single area.
Really? Oh, wow. Well, the vocational school I went to only teaches you traditional French style cooking.
Yeah.
Which is
Vocational.
good for the basics.
Yeah.
You know, but don't ask me to make it like a fucking bechamel or anything like that. I can't do that to save my life.
I think I still remember how to do it.
Every time I would make it, my sauce would break and I would be pissed. You know, especially with hollandaise. I have no patience for hollandaise sauce.
Fucking hell.
I have zero.
Hollandaise is a fucking nightmare to begin with.
It is, because you're over a double boiler, constantly making sure you don't scramble eggs. What a pain in the nuts that is. I'd rather listen to Joe speak for like 5 seconds.
For 5 seconds.
That's enough. That's enough.
How long for 5 minutes?
Ooh.
Would you rather make
That's
20
like
hollandaise sauces?
that's like going to Guantanamo.
20 separate hollandaise sauces, or Joe for 5 minutes?
20 hollandaise sauces.
Really?
Oh yeah.
They're gonna break
Okay.
on you every time, and you know it.
You didn't say they had to be perfect hollandaise
They
sauces.
had to. They had to be workable.
Okay, even a broken hollandaise is still considered a sauce.
No,
It's just a
considered-
gross sauce. It's a scrambled egg sauce.
No. Fuck that.
All right, then I guess I'll just listen to Joe babble.
At least you'll have more
Economy.
material. At least you'll have more material to bash him with.
He certainly gives you enough of that.
That he does.
Everything because he's a fucking illiterate idiot.
Well, someone who's not an idiot, I can tell you this much, going back into a little World War II stuff. The captain of the USS Texas.
What about him?
All right, so when they were bombarding one of the beaches,
Oh,
the captain, because it's an older ship, technically I think it's still considered a dreadnought class, heavily armored, slow, but obviously older at that point. He flooded half the ship to list the thing to the side so his shells can reach the target.
That's awesome. They would never do that. That would like break like 100 million protocols now.
I know.
yeah. Can you imagine how long it would take to empty out half that ship without sinking it by accident?
Well, just look at like what happened like during the Battle of Midway and whatnot, with all the holes that like the Japanese put into our aircraft carriers and vice versa. Like how many times those ships were near sinking?
Well, in the Battle of Midway, the amount of timing, if you actually like break it down, which I saw a video on YouTube of someone who did for the entire the battle from planning to the actual day of and time frame wise and everything. Literally, there was like a gap of like 5 minutes. That like if the Japanese planes landed 5 minutes earlier, they would have been able to restock and take off before we actually attacked them. And if that happened, we wouldn't have destroyed as many carriers as we did.
Well, you know that the Japanese, their intentions was to invade a ground force to the United States.
Yeah, and what did
Yamamoto.
It was like there will be a gun behind every blade of grass.
He actually said that to the Japanese Empire, the Emperor.
He's not. He wasn't wrong.
No, I mean, granted, he they wouldn't find those in California. But once you get past California and all
California
the
doesn't really
fucking
have
hippies,
grass to begin with either.
well, you know what though? They weren't really hippies back then in California like they are now.
Yeah, but again, every blade of grass. There's no grass over there. It's just beach and homeless people.
Well, now it is. Back then, California might have been respectable.
Now, I think that's what their original plan was, and then they agreed to attack Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
And
Just that-
then
Which they did.
and then immediately afterwards, he's like, "We woke the sleeping giant."
I mean, I don't know what went through the Emperor of Japan's head when he goes, "Oh, let's attack Pearl Harbor."
They haven't done anything, but let's do it.
You know,
No,
I get why they wanted to sink our aircraft carrier, but you would have thought they would have done a little more research and found out, oh, maybe we should call this attack off. They're not there.
Actually, with the aircraft carriers not being there, they still could have had a successful attack if they attacked the oil depots and the repair ports.
Or if they didn't attack the best fucking Navy in the world.
That too.
You know, maybe they really should have thought about, oh, maybe I shouldn't fuck with the best Navy on the planet. Because we fought back and we
Actually,
kicked their ass.
Technically speaking, at that point in time, statistically speaking,
The Japanese outnumbered us naval-wise.
and they had the better navy. They
No,
had the
no,
bigger
There's
ships.
no such thing as a better Navy than the United
They
States
had the
Navy.
bigger navy.
They had a bigger Navy.
Bigger ships, and that's what they judged everything off of. What they were completely countered against is how quickly we can fix things.
It's not always about how big the tool is, it's about how you use it. And we used it to kick their fucking ass. That's what we did.
But
Sorry about the nuclear bombs, though. Maybe that was a little too extreme.
We
Sorry
did.
about the second one.
It did.
You know, you think like one would have definitely rammed it home, like we're not fucking around. Like two was just for good measure, I guess.
Well, I know that was the end of the battleship era too.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was.
when
Number 2 was in case they thought we were joking.
aircraft carriers are officially the new form of fighting in the sea.
Yeah,
Big E.
they still are though.
Yeah.
Can you imagine 2 battleships or 2 aircraft carriers just staring at each other from like a good distance? Like, none of our planes are ready to take off here. We're just gonna stare at each other.
No, they got guns on board. They're gonna shoot. They got fucking machine guns. They got all that shit on board.
Oh, what was?
That was torpedoes. Oh, that was
Where they like drained the ocean.
that was a
kind of thing?
History Channel thing where they showed like under the ocean.
When the History Channel is still good.
Yeah.
And they showed like all the stuff that was left over from like World War II, and, because they like stripped away the water and they digitally graphed everything, and there was like a whole battalion of tanks and shit under there still that were meant to reach the land but never made it. Yeah, it was pretty neat actually.
First one to salvage that. It's going in a fucking museum.
You can't salvage it. If you try to like touch them, they'll disintegrate. They've been underwater for too long. Just like that's why they never raised the Titanic. One, it's too far down, and two, if you touch it, it'll fall apart. Because people thought about doing that.
You have to keep in mind the only reason why it's there in that retrospect is because the amount of pressure that's from the water. It's holding it together, literally.
Because salt is corrosive, so it's eating the fucking hull and all that. And it's solid steel. Steel is probably the worst thing to be in the water like that.
Correct.
It just gets eaten by salt. And that's, it would have been pretty neat if they could bring up the Titanic, though. That would be pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather see the tanks than the Titanic.
Oh, come on. You wouldn't really be interested to see the Titanic?
They're sending a second one on the same fucking route.
No. I'm not. No, that's cursed. Because it's called the Titanic, too.
Exactly.
And I've said this in other podcasts.
So when that one goes down, we can salvage that one. Pretend we
Let's
brought
hope
the
it
original.
doesn't. let's put this out first. I hope it doesn't, and I
Yeah.
hope it has an amazing maiden voyage.
Just
but
watch
you
out for
have a
icebergs this
very, very cursed name.
Titanic 2.
I would have changed the name, but it's by the same company, North Star. But at least this time they have modern technology with the right kind of bolts and whatnot.
I'm just gonna say this: don't call it an unsinkable ship.
Right? Yeah. No, never say that.
Yeah, look for icebergs this time. Be actively.
Fortunately,
looking
this
for-
one has technology which will detect icebergs.
You hope.
You hope. I mean, you could always be like that Italian cruise that was doing that drive-by and fucking hit the fucking seawall. and then listed over. That was a fucking travesty. Captain abandoned ship.
That's how you know it's bad.
No, like he left his crew and passengers while they were still on board. He dipped. And like when you hear like the Italian Coast Guard return to the vessel, he's like, "Nah, bro, I'm good." So he's still in Italian prison because it's against the law for a captain to abandon their ship, especially when there's passengers still on board. Doesn't matter what kind of ship it is, whether it's military or commercial. Captain goes down with the ship. I think that's been like that since.
Didn't age well.
I mean, shit, that's been around since pirates and shit were around. It was always known that no matter what, as the captain, you're responsible for passenger and crew.
I think the only time you can get off that ship
is if everybody else is off
and accounted for.
Right. But look at what happened. We'll bring up the Titanic. The captain walked right back in to the bridge and went down with the ship, and he had an orchestra that went with him. But travesties like that are just terrible, though. But I don't know. There's not enough money on this planet that would get me on the Titanic too.
Nope.
Even if you gave me free tickets, I'll scalp them all. Here, who wants this? Free.
Actually, I would do that. I would sell the tickets.
No, they can just have them. Somebody can have them.
No, I would sell the tickets because then I'm going to take that money from those tickets and go to drive tanks.
Or I'll go on a different cruise line. I'll go on Royal Caribbean. The Oasis of the Sea. Apparently, Carnival just released their largest ship.
And who's going to go on it?
Carnival's largest ship, or is it the largest ship?
No. Royal Caribbean still holds the title for the largest cruise ship.
Okay. I believe it's fucking go on it right now.
So, there's this woman on YouTube who's also a captain for Royal Caribbean's cruise line. She's all over TikTok. She's an amazing woman. She's there. She has like one of those naked cats.
Oh.
The ones with no fur. And the cat's name I think is Bug. And because you're not usually allowed to bring pets on board, but since she's the captain, she can do whatever the fuck she wants. And who's gonna tell her otherwise? She's the boss.
Yeah, you can say you're allergic to cats all you want, and you just
no hair, no dander.
You're like, look, you can pet it.
But she just went on the christening of their new ship, and it looked fantastic. And I've never sailed Carnival before. I've only ever sailed
So
Royal
you still have
Caribbean.
that traditionally they take the champagne bottle and they just break it on the fucking ship?
Yep. But I think it's on a string, like a rope,
It is.
and you just slam it in.
That's not. Do it the old-fashioned way. Just chuck that motherfucker.
Well, what's her name? His name, the admiral for the U.S. Army, I believe, is
I forget her name.
transgender, correct? I don't remember. I'll just say the admiral, the one who's the head of the U.S. Navy right now. I know that. I don't know the politically correct term for it. I know the admiral just christened a new ship again from back in, you said 2016, right?
They just christened the ship because it left the dry dock. It's
right,
still
which is
under
now the
construction.
USS Harvey Milk, in honor for the one of the biggest, probably the gay pride activists known to mankind.
All I know is when I.
But I think she goes by she. If I'm wrong, I'm very sorry, but I think she goes by she. She used the champagne bottle.
All I know is when I build my own house, I'm gonna christen that thing the same way. Just take a fucking champagne and just. Right
I
on.
hereby call this Chateau d'Alex 2.
Exactly. 2. Only 1. We don't talk about that one.
We don't talk about the first one.
As there's just a fire behind you burning.
This is why we had 2 built.
But no, I will have to put this out. Just the feats of engineering.
Oh
during
yeah.
World War II, everything.
Like that's why I loved going through the Intrepid. Just the chain for the anchor, it's like my length, and like it's at least like a 6-foot link. It's fucking insane.
I mean, it has to hold down a ship.
But it's insane.
It has to hold down a ship. It has to bear the weight of it if it pulls.
It's modern marvels though. It really is. Like even our the jets, the F-22 Raptors, all that stuff. It's just modern marvels. The M1 Abrams tank.
Yes. All right. Mio just commented on chat. She said, "Depends on the ship. Parents went to a christening and Woody did it the old-fashioned way.
Oh, cool. I think it should be done the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. So that way, if you miss, you gotta get another bottle.
But it's not a real glass bottle anymore because obviously they don't want glass getting into the ocean. I think it's a sugar glass, so it just dissolves.
On my house,
It's a
They're
house. It's
using
on
bottle.
land. You can clean that shit up. But it's the ocean. You don't want to pollute the ocean.
Have a
It's
net.
polluted enough.
have a net.
But that being said, I mean, again, just the engineering behind it. Like, the
Mhm.
F-22 Raptor is still...
That's my favorite plane. That's my favorite plane the military has.
Can you imagine you hit the ship and it puts a dent in it?
Someone's getting fired.
You're like, ah, shit.
Well, what was it? I was watching, I went down, again, the YouTube rabbit hole. We all do.
It's not hard to do. I go down that rabbit hole every night.
But they took car manufacturers and they were producing ships and everything just because of their actually, I'll give you an example. The P-51 Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
That plane was had a British motor in it. Right?
Rolls Royce, wasn't it?
Pratt and Whitney.
Whitney.
They shipped over all the blueprints and all the designs and everything and whatnot because they were hand-built engines in Europe. The auto manufacturers over here looked at it and they're like,
We can make this better.
"No, we can mass." They're like, "We can mass produce it, but this has got to go. This has got to go. This has got to go."
Yeah, made
They
it better.
basically had to re-engineer it to handle the mass production lines, and my God, they were pumping those things out like nothing. Once they
Oh
got,
yeah, I mean, when you really look back at World War II, we really did rule the sky, the sea, and the ground. You know, it's unfortunate that so many people lost their lives. Not the Nazis; they could all die. But it's unfortunate that so many of the Allied forces died. Maybe not so much the French. They gave up way too quick.
What was it, 3 days?
Yeah, they gave up way too fast. Like, oh my God, my croissant! I give up.
as soon as Germany got past the,
Well, then they had to share the croissant, so they couldn't do it. They couldn't handle it anymore. Oh my God, my cigarette
Now,
and my croissant is gone.
I'm gonna also throw this out there too. Look at what happened with Dunkirk.
Yeah.
You had English citizens with their own ships sailing and traveling the troops back home. Like, when you run into a situation like that, your military and your country aligned.
Mhm.
It's insane about what can happen.
But, yeah, like, and that's what I always like. You got to really feel bad for the English too, because they got a fucking thumping from the Luftwaffe. They got a thumping. But to the point where they had to evacuate children to the countryside and leave their parents behind.
Mhm.
I mean, it was like, how many orphanages had to open because of that? It's really a shame. It really is.
Now,
But war's a terrible thing, though.
Now, that being said, there was another story that I read. A American bomber pilot got shot up completely. I mean, like, there was a big chunk missing out of the back of the plane and everything. From
Parts
the
they
flak.
need, right?
Hmm?
Parts they need.
Essentially, the way he described it was there was basically like a steel beam connecting the tail of the plane to the front. Like,
Oh,
there was a
shit.
giant hole right there from flak. Everybody was hurt and whatnot. A German pilot saw the plane flying low to the ground, like it didn't crash. They were just keeping it up as much as they could. The German pilot took off and went to go shoot it down, and decided not to because they have no way of fighting back. They're done.
Okay, let me distinguish something. Not all the Germans were Nazis. The Nazis was a party, and there were extremists like there are any party.
Mm-hmm.
Separate from the Nazis was the Wehrmacht, which was the infantry unit, the Luftwaffe, and I can't pronounce the Navy. They were just... a lot of them didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
They had no choice, or they would have gotten shot by their officers, who probably were Nazis. But they didn't want to fight. They didn't want to be there. But I get it. You don't want to see. You don't want to die, one, and you don't want your family to be killed. So you're going to do what you're told to do. But the Nazis, they could all die.
So,
Nazis. It's
continuing
very
on,
apparent, right, that I hate Nazis.
continuing on that story, the pilot was one shot away from being an ace, which I know for being a pilot, that's a huge accomplishment.
Huge feat, yeah.
He ended up flying in pattern with the bomber until they were out over the ocean, and the bomber could fly home. Like he actually
You gave him like an escort.
flew in formation with them. Yeah.
Well, that's like during World War One, where both sides during Christmas stopped fighting, and that's like a whole famous thing. And they started singing Christmas carols with one another, and then the very next day they started killing each other again.
They swapped cigarettes. They
They exchanged gifts. They
Yeah.
actually exchanged gifts with one another. With, you know, the Allied forces and the Germans, they exchanged gifts, and you know, it really showed you that okay, yeah, they're our enemy, but they're still human. They're still, you know, men in uniform. But you know, I get it. The next day, merriment's over. It's back to work. But for that split second, it showed that, you know, even you're our enemy and we're gonna kill you and we're gonna win, but you know, you're still human. And that says a lot, especially during a time of war.
shows a whole different.
Bet you the
character.
fucking terrorists wouldn't do that.
Nope.
Well, no, they hate Santa Claus. They don't
What
believe in
was
Santa Claus. They believe in Santa Claus, maybe.
Santa Claus.
I'd have thought. Can you imagine any one of us three being a fucking engineer?
Oh, no. No. How about being an engineer on a Navy vessel? Because that's the
Ouch.
first fucking thing that seals up when there's a problem. Oh. Just knowing that, like, you see that water spilling in and you know you're getting sealed in. And you don't have, like, it's just me, okay, I rather, because I have a fear of drowning, which I think most people do, it's just a rational fear.
Yeah.
But you don't have a pistol to end your life. You're gonna drown. You just have to know that's gonna happen. And that's got to be a really frightening thought. And I really feel for all those sailors that were lost at sea because of that.
You know, I give credit to the people who are in the submarines.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. My neighbor Pete Gillette, he was he was on a submarine, and he was a cook.
Really?
Yeah, he would tell you stories on how he ate had the best food in the entire military.
I can see that.
Filet mignon, lobster tail, all of that. Because you're stuck in a vessel for 6 months under the water.
Hey, can you imagine getting them drool and shit? Just
What?
like the worst fucking food possible, and they gotta be stuck down there. They ain't going back.
Well, that's why the thing, you got to keep morale up. And the only way to keep morale up is from food. Now there's video games and whatnot that they have down there to keep morale up too, but food is the key to a soldier's heart is through food.
Yeah, but they don't got like Xbox Live, so they gotta play by themselves and shit.
Hey, better than just sitting and looking at a steel tube all day.
Hey, split screen.
Mio commented. She said, I second that. I'd rather freeze to death than drown."
Yeah, see, for me, it's drowning and being burned alive.
Yeah, I don't want to drown, but at the same time, I want to do scuba diving.
You see, though, with scuba diving, though, you have a chance. If you're stuck in a sealed hull, you don't have a chance. All you got to worry about is Jaws coming and taking a nibble.
No, I could beat a shark. I can beat a shark.
Remember, cows are deadlier than sharks.
Exactly.
No, actually, sharks will just leave you alone. They don't even really give a shit about
Exactly.
Unless you're bleeding.
And they say don't wear any shiny objects.
Correct.
Anyway.
Shiny objects. Nothing shiny.
Oh, no glasses for me, I guess.
No, obviously, if you need corrective lenses, you wear corrective lenses.
Contacts.
Oh, hell no.
I hate
I
them,
know.
but I'll use them if I gotta.
I can't stick my finger near my eye like that. Grosses me out.
Weirds me out too, but you do what you gotta do, right?
But yeah. Well, I know. As I was saying, giving credit back to the people in the submarines and everything. Like, I don't know how they don't go mentally
It
insane.
takes a certain breed of person. It takes
You're
a certain breed of person.
confined space. It's tiny. Especially the World War II ones.
It takes a certain breed of person to be able to do that. Something that I give the utmost respect for, but I know full well I could never do it.
Now, luckily, for at least the soldiers in World War II, the submarines couldn't necessarily stay underwater for just crazy long periods of time. They had to go back up and basically recharge the batteries and, you know, resupply
the air.
oxygen and stuff like that. Now you have these nuclear powered ones, bruh.
You don't have to come up for years. I mean, like, and I know we haven't really even talked about it, but we even have our Coast Guard,
That's true.
which they do a stellar job of, protecting our domestic seas.
Well, you have to keep in mind the Coast Guard is essentially that last line of defense.
Yeah, they keep them pirates away.
They do. I mean, they fuck up Somali pirates.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh God, do you ever see those ships too? The fucking Coast Guard vessels? They're fucking loaded with shit. They got some good toys on there. Their fucking ships are insane.
They may not have the biggest ships.
They don't want them big though. They need them fast.
Correct.
They need those rapid response ships.
They can move.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen them like when they bring out the small little like airboats or whatever to try to catch down stuff?
Oh, the Zodiacs?
Oh my God.
Those things are sick.
I don't know what's. I mean, yeah, you could go buy like a battleship or an aircraft carrier destroyer, but when you see a Coast Guard ship launching like 6 of those things at you, you're fucked.
My dad had a buddy. His name was Sean, and they used to be big with airsoft shooting and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad, he goes, we'll go. My dad didn't participate. He was, talking to Sean the whole time, but I was there, and we were playing with a bunch of Marines and Delta and all those guys, SEAL members, not SEAL Team 6 necessarily, but they were SEAL members. And I go, okay, you're a bad guy, because this was training for them essentially. And I was there. I was in the window because he had like a little fort.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the window and I was looking outside, waiting for him, and all of a sudden I get tapped on the back of my shoulder. Gotcha. And it was a guy from the Navy SEALs. You didn't hear him. I go, where did you come in from? He goes, don't worry about it. I got you there, right? I just sat down in defeat.
I mean, you want one way to get gone, SEAL.
I mean, like, even when he left the room, like, you didn't hear a footstep. Nothing. You heard nothing. It was like a fucking ghost. It was insane. And, those guys, they, obviously at the end, whenever, they were done, they were all drinking beer and all that shit. And they never really talked about work. They didn't talk shop, but, they all knew and they had that respect because, it was Rangers there and, all the different Special Forces guys. And I think that, because you're at that level of elite, I'm sure you can't talk about a lot of stuff anyway.
Yeah, but no one likes a pissing contest with people on the same level as you.
No, well, yeah, and plus,
that's quite an extreme pissing contest.
That is an extreme pissing contest. I mean, one person go, yeah, well, I did this, and the other one's like, wow, I did some Black Ops shit that you will never know about.
That's where the contest becomes unfair.
Exactly.
I think the most crazy experience I've had, I went paintballing out in PA. This was like 10 years ago, and the whole crew that we went with was a lot smaller than obviously the other party that was there. So there's another small party of Marines who joined our squad.
Those guys are crazy, man.
My God, dude, the one map we were playing on literally had like trenches around it and a fort and everything. We played 3 rounds. We attacked first. And
that's because that's a Marine mentality.
I swear to God, I have never seen someone move like that. Like, they rushed that hill
because Marines
and took it in a matter of minutes. Then it came to the defense. Holy shit. We did not lose a single person that entire round.
Well, I had the pleasure of working with 2 Marines at Reloaders, and that was Bobby and Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. And, Bobby's son is a Marine also, and, I hope he's safe and everything and doing well in his career. But the stories that they have about, like, basic and boot camp and all that other stuff, they're hilarious. Because, because they go back and forth with one another. And they're saying shit that, as a civilian, we'll never get, but it sounds funny, so you just laugh. Like, oh, yeah, right. And then they look at you like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Shut up.
That goes for any job, though. It's like, if a plumber was to talk to an electrician, it's like fucking black and white. one does not understand the other at all. The only thing we have in common is PVC. And what we do with it is completely different. Electricians, they use it so that way they can put it in a wall, so that way they can run their wires through it. Just that way it's not touching bare concrete. That's the only reason they use PVC.
But like, I remember one guy who who was there and he committed stolen valor. And, you know, he was saying he was Delta. I'm Delta, I'm Delta, I'm Delta. If you're truly Delta, you don't go openly saying shit like that. Because you're special forces. You don't want people to know that, really. You know, you're not in any uniform. He wasn't willing to produce any kind of military identification. But I'm Delta. I'll kick all your asses. I'm Delta.
Do it.
So naturally, of course, the 2 Marines that were there are getting fucking pissed. We'll produce a military ID. I don't have to show you shit. Do you even have one? I don't have to tell you shit. You don't have nothing. Just so you know, folks, stolen valor is a federal crime. And if you commit stolen valor, you deserve to get butt raped in prison. What, stolen valor? Stolen valor is when you impersonate a military personnel for some kind of gain. Like if you want free Starbucks, you go in a fucking fake uniform that you got at the Army Navy store and say, I was a fucking, you know, Colonel Sanders in the military. Look at all my badges of achievement. And you can't name one of them is. Or the American flag is upside down. Or their rank, they have like a fucking, you know, 6-star general's rank and that doesn't even exist anymore. You know, don't commit stolen valor. If you wanted to be in the military, you should have joined it. Stolen valor is a horrible, horrible thing. And I guarantee you, and I've seen it firsthand, soldiers don't appreciate it. They will kick your ass. And trust me, they'll put their actual basic training into combat.
And I will gladly sit back and watch it unfold.
Oh yeah, I'll call the cops like maybe 10 minutes later.
I'll record it. Post it on YouTube.
There's videos all over YouTube of these fucking dipshits that commit stolen valor all the time. Like, you want Starbucks that bad? Like, that you're willing to impersonate a fucking soldier?
You ever see the military wives who be like, you gotta dress me by my husband's rank?
Yeah, that's correct.
That shit is whack as hell.
Military wives are one of them, well, husbands and wives, because we're an inclusive channel here.
I've never seen the husbands do it.
Well, that's true, I haven't either, but
That's the only reason.
but they're like unsung heroes also, though, because they gotta put up with a lot, with their loved one being away for such a long time.
I get that, but telling people to address them by their husband's rank.
See, that's an officer's mentality. That sounds like somebody just became like a second lieutenant. But you know, they're unsung heroes too. Military, you know, spouses. We'll just say military spouses.
Yeah, spouse.
You know, even military children. You know, they have to watch and hope their loved one comes back. Whether it's their mother, their father, brother, sister, whoever. They have to hope they come back. That's a lot on a child. So they're unsung heroes also. They don't get enough appreciation. Usually it's just the soldier that gets the appreciation, but it's also the family that should get it some too. Because they're just as important with Veterans Day as as the soldiers themselves. They have to sacrifice a lot.
I agree.
But no, they have to go to sleep at night hoping that nothing happens and they don't wake up to a bad phone call. You know, every single night while their loved one's deployed.
For like 6 months plus at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, especially like for mothers whose sons or daughters just went in, they're probably freaking out. They gotta be freaking out. I know when I was thinking about it, my mom was freaking out. I'm like, I'm not gonna die in boot camp, Ma.
I know my dad was thrilled that I wanted to join. My dad was also in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
Served his 4 years. Called it a day after that.
He still did his duty to his country, though. For us who didn't join the military, we should do our duty to our country by supporting those who do.
Now, I will say this, when obviously that was me prior to, telling him I wanted to join. and whatnot. That was prior to my back injury. Once I got that back injury,
They wouldn't have accepted you anyway. That's just that, that's the thing.
Yeah.
When I, because I had to show, when I was going to join the Army, I had to show them my MRI, and they immediately denied me. They said, "I'm sorry, we can't let you in with that kind of injury." They go, "Unless you get surgery and hopefully it works, then try again." But then I got really heavy, so again, because I got married.
well, for me with the back injury I got, like I could see a little bit of disappointment, and like my dad was upset that I wasn't able.
I don't think he was disappointed, man. I think he was just upset.
He was upset,
Yeah.
not disappointed. It's like, it's a back injury. You can't help that.
Mhm.
Well, was it a preventable back injury like mine? Because mine was 100% preventable. I was just a dumbass.
Mine just playing sports my entire life. Just,
So it's semi-preventable.
Haha, I never played sports. Fucking sports are for nerds.
Yet you're the cyborg.
Yeah. Hey, listen, they have no fucking idea why I have it. Alright? Like, I see that all three of us wanted to join different branches now.
Wow, what branch did you want to do?
I was gonna do Marines.
Marines?
I was active enough and fit enough that I was gonna do it, but then they found out that I had a cold allergy, and that was a year before I was gonna try and join up. They put down the list for a no-go. And they immediately fucking found out because it's on a medical record.
See, the other problem that I
Fuckers.
had, too, is I could never join... Because I was thinking about the Marines also. But I had tattoos on my arms. Couldn't join.
I was this fucking close, and then we just slapped that on there.
Now, I
Cold
don't think
allergy.
you can join any branch of service with any tattoo on your
I
body.
thought they were changing that.
I think they changed it.
Oh, they did? So you... But it's still... I know it still can't
It
be
can't
below
be
your...
watch line and down.
Right, watch line and down, and nothing on your neck and above. Which, I get it because it's professionalism and whatnot, but does it really matter?
Well, he wanted to shoot the big guns. What did you want to do in the army?
Actually, when I was a lot thinner,
Bro, you're still a stick.
bro, I'm a big guy.
Stick. Who the fuck is calling me?
Alex,
Spam.
you're lucky you don't have a drink.
Hey, usually when people call me, it's usually important. That's the only reason I check to see who it is.
He's got a point.
That's true.
I actually almost got recruited for the Air Force.
I didn't. I'm too stupid.
For what would you want to do in the Air Force? You can't be a pilot.
I didn't hit my growth spurt at that point in time. This
But
is
did you wear corrective lenses though? Did you have
Did.
perfect 20/20 vision?
no, I did not.
So you weren't going to be a pilot. So what
Nope.
would you have done?
Clean the plane.
Believe it or not, they actually were
Exactly.
contemplating like LASIK and shit like that at that point.
Oh, the military would have paid for your LASIK surgery.
LASIK.
They
I
would not
heard that
pay
it
for my
fucks
back
with your night
surgery.
vision.
What was that?
I heard that LASIK fucks with your night vision, like your
Mom,
ability to
does
see at
LASIK
night.
fuck with your night vision?
Like seeing at night.
Because if your lens, your eyes become like a cat or reflect,
Yeah, I heard that.
absorbing the light at like reflected, so these halos around when you drive and lights,
Yeah,
street lights.
I don't think I could do that.
Oh, look, Glenn. He knows how to answer. Oh, okay, cool. Glenn said he's still on for Sunday, guys.
Cool beans.
Alright, cool.
Let's see if he's on time or not.
What time is it, Sheldon?
He's got to be at this house by what, 8 o'clock? You said, right?
I thought we had to be at
7:30.
So he has to be here at 7:30.
Mhm.
And so
And you guys would leave here at 8.
oh, you know, to be at you by
It takes about a half hour to 40 minutes to get to my house from here. Since it is a Sunday, you get all the Sunday traffic. So it's like kind of that in between time. People are going to church, so on and so forth. So I gave like a good 20-minute leeway.
No. There's
Well,
only
we don't have to worry about him watching the podcast right now, anyway.
Yeah, I know, right? He openly said he doesn't. Well, let him work on my
Hey.
day off. Technically, today's not your day off, Glenn.
Hey,
Today you're supposed to be at work.
that
want a
20-minute
doctor's
leeway
note.
is like a very small window in comparison.
Yeah, but no. I was at the Smithsonian, and
Oh yeah, that place is neat.
they brought out like a whole simulator and everything, and he was flying an F-16. I got out of the simulator and they approached me.
I've been to the Smithsonian when they had the Star Wars exhibit. Back when there was only 3 movies.
Yeah. Mio said Dad was Air Force, but he was allergic to some obscure type of bee. Very disappointed.
Obscure type of what?
Obscure type of bee.
B.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yes, and if you guys don't believe it, Alex actually is allergic to the cold.
And yes, they did actually put that on the DQ list. Cold. You know how it's like fucking cold outside and shit?
Not cold. It's not cold outside.
It's cold outside, alright?
Don't be pussy.
Me, it's not cold for you, bro. My body cannot regulate its temperature.
Well, especially if you're allergic to cold.
Exactly. It'll kill me one of these days, but it ain't yet.
Alright, so how about that trip we're taking to the Antarctic, right? You're going, right?
Bro, I've been to Alaska. I'll go.
Alaska's only cold during a certain period of time.
Exactly.
No. The Arctic is cold all of the time.
Listen, I risked my life for less. I went paintballing in 0-degree weather. If you think I'm afraid, I am not. Just because I'm allergic to it doesn't mean it's gonna fucking stop me. I'm lactose intolerant.
Well, Mom, aren't
that
you
does
allergic?
not
You're
stop me
allergic
from
to
eating
the
a
sun,
whole
right?
fucking pot of macaroni and
Yeah,
cheese.
Mom's allergic to the sun.
My mom is too. Shit.
Really? Yeah.
She gets like these weird rashes and shit.
Yeah.
She passes out. When we were in Jamaica, she passed out on this little Jamaican kid.
Are you gonna be okay on Sunday?
It's not hot.
No,
It's not hot.
Like the island hot.
Oh, I thought you just meant like
The sun itself.
the sun itself, like just being exposed and shit.
Yeah, she has to be
There's
exposed for a long period of time in direct heat sunlight.
Okay.
Otherwise we were happy.
And the funny, it was. I know it was a tragic thing because she passed out, but it was funny watching this little Jamaican kid's face. Because like he threw his hands up and he's like, "I'm not touching this white lady." And my dad's trying to pull her off, and I'm trying to go get help from the cruise ship. And this kid's traumatized. Guarantee he ran home. How was your day, son? Oh, this white lady fell on me.
She's like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Well, on that note,
Yeah, on a Jamaican joke.
but
Oh, just so you know, guys, make sure you stay to the full end of the podcast even after we leave, because we did put up the Armed Service Medley song, so it has all the branches, songs on there.
except
So-
for Space Force because they're the newest.
Yeah,
Do they have
just
a song?
listen to
They do.
just listen to like
I
Star
gotta listen to
Trek
that
for a
later.
little bit.
Star Trek.
But
Listen to the
yes.
Star Wars theme song.
Yeah, listen to Star Wars theme song. It's the same thing as Space Force.
Yes, and the music will start playing about 10 to 15 seconds after the end.
Right,
Slide
it was
comes up.
the best video clip we could, or the best audio clip we could find at short notice.
Correct. And also take a look at the merch. The link is down below. Our standard merch is also there, and then we have our Veterans Day one, which is the mug and the pint glass, and I bet you guys would like it. Yes.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Don't rush the process.
There's a process?
There is a
I
process.
thought we were just
Now,
winging it.
now, just to let you guys know, what we've seen on our end right there was Brian's mom was just like, all right.
All So again, from us at Up and Spoke Podcast, -1, because
It's okay.
he
I'm
decided
here.
he decided to have electrical problems on
Decided.
on his work day.
on his work day.
We really want to thank you all you veterans and all the family members of veterans and currently active service members. We love
Yes.
you. We hope you all be safe out there. You know, we have the utmost respect for you. I don't know. What, you have anything else to say?
Please like, share, subscribe. We want to do more stuff with you guys, have
Mhm.
more involvement and everything. Obviously, Mio, Glenn Sr.
Yep.
And
The good
everybody else.
Glenn.
Yes, the good Glenn.
The one that
the,
shows up.
the consistent Glenn. We appreciate you guys.
Yep.
Cry if you're on the chat. I'm usually watching, just maybe not be in chat.
Mhm.
Thank you for helping us out with the merch.
Yep.
We love it all. We thank you for it, and definitely a lot more to come.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next Tuesday. Hopefully, Glenn will be back. If not, you'll see Alex sitting in the most uncomfortable chair in the world again.
Yeah, I can see why he likes this chair. It's like perfect with the neck that you just go like this.
Because he takes a nap half the time. When
Yeah,
he
I
wears
know.
sunglasses,
That's
he's
why
sleeping.
this is actually kind of nice.
We'll see you next Tuesday. We love you all. Be safe. God bless America, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Trust in